What's up, everyone, and welcome back to Rob's Gaming Table. Today on the table we have another Game of Thrones, a card game, 2nd edition tournament video for you. Brought to you by these awesome supporters of Rob's Gaming Table who donate to the channel at patreon.com/Rob's Gaming Table. In this match we have myself, Rob, playing Greyjoy Reigns of Castamere, against Scott, also playing Greyjoy Reigns of Castamere. We are at Just Games in Rochester, New York for the 2018 Stored Championship. This is a round 2 Swiss match, 14 players. Recorded 2 games per round, so should have a bunch more games coming up for you. So if you're new here, make sure you subscribe to the channel. If you want to see more Thrones, make sure you hit that like button. If you like the work we do here, please throw a tip our way by donating at the link in the description below. Alright, so for setup, we have Esgrid, 2 Iron Islands Fishmongers on my side on the right, and an Iron Mines, along with a Sea Tower. On the other side we have an Iron Islands Fishmonger and Little Theon, and a raiding a longship and a King's Road. Raiding longships. I like those locations. I haven't put them in decks in a long time, but I think they are a good choice. They are very powerful. They definitely mess with your opponent. If you play the right initiative plots, you can definitely work them towards your advantage.
Yeah, go ahead. I'll go first. Yeah, I got it.
So you see a little delay of game there as I'm playing with my phone, trying to keep track of time for the round for everyone. Our TO was a little busy running a giant Magic tournament that overcrowded the store so much that we basically had players go down the street to a restaurant to play games because we ran out of tables. Yes, it was that crazy. Alright, so time of plenty, late summer feast. We're rolling there for initiative because he had a King's Road. And it looks like Scott is going first. Yeah, and of course he does want to go first with that raiding longship. Second King's Road. A 9 gold plot, 2 King's Roads, and an Iron Islands Fishmonger. This guy is going to have no problem with economy in this first round. There's 2 King's Roads popped. He's knelt the Fishmonger, and we have Euron on the board already. I'm in trouble. See Euron there licking his lips for that Iron Mines across the table. An Iron Fleet Scout to help buff strength. Help get those range triggers off much easier. And I had to double check. He played that attachment, the weapon, throwing axe. Corset attachment, I believe. It's been a long time since I've seen that one. I think I played it in one game way back in the day when the first Corset was the only card pool we had. But yeah, I haven't seen it much since. And we see Maester Windermere on the board now. So that throwing axe is a threat. If I throw anyone in to defend and he wins, he can chuck that throwing axe at the character who defended his head and kill them instantly. So it's basically to scare you out of challenges so they can come in unopposed. Which, going on Euron, is a smart play. Alright, my marshalling looks like a great haul to start. I prefer my economy to stay in play versus the King's Roads when Euron's snooping around, and then get my own Euron with a dupe. Eat that, Scott. Just kidding, buddy. Apologize for the glare there. Although my Euron doesn't have a throwing axe on him. And looks like I saved 3 gold. I think he's sitting on 3 gold. Over to Scott's challenges on the left. Starts with a military with Little Theon. And that goes unopposed. Iron Islands Fishmonger doing what they do best. Going to the dead pile. And I will draw a card off the force reaction from his plot, the late summer feast there. And he's coming in on a 6 strength power challenge with Euron. I don't think there's a strength buff off of throwing axe.
Or no, sorry,
He's actually going to do intrigue instead, it sounds like. Looks like he wants to try to get that range trigger going. I could throw Euron in there and let him use the dupe, or the Iron Mines even, to save from the throwing axe. But I just let it go unopposed. He does have the raiding longship there. Not much I can do against that. I have no attachments on my guys yet.
You want to do reigns at all? Or no? Like reactions first, if you have any.
Just asking him, giving him the offer of triggering reigns. Looks like he was grabbing his renowned power there. Just want to make sure. Try to be a nice guy, you know?
I didn't defend with anyone, so I can't hit anyone. Sorry, crossing.
Because he did play the Late Summer Feast, so if he wants to cover that up, he's going to have to do it now with his range trigger. Otherwise, if he wins another challenge, I'll be able to draw another card. Which I've already gotten one off the military. I should have got one off the intrigue there. I think I grabbed it. And he is going to kneel Euron, which I think is a smart play. So he doesn't have to deal with me coming back at him there to grab those King's Roads, because you know I want those out of his discard pile. And he grabs a copy of Victorion. And the Pillage is the third Iron Islands Fishmonger from my deck.
No, just this.
And no locations for Euron to steal yet. And then the Power Challenge with Windermere. And that goes unopposed too. So 3 unopposed challenges for Scott here off the start. A range trigger, Renown on Euron, and kneeling my Euron out. I only have Esgrid there. And I have no way of buffing her strength to get a range trigger off of my own. To try to kill some lords would be nice, but using Red Wedding out of my Reigns plot deck, I think I had it in there. So grabbing a save from hand on the intrigue. He says it's the one card he wanted to save in hand, and of course that's the one I grabbed. That's the way Game of Thrones works. I think it was a tie for Dom. Maybe he won Dom there. I missed. I was kind of quick, but we're just chucking cards for reserve here, or at least I am. And you see I have a bunch of locations there in hand, but I don't want to chuck them for reserve into my discard pile with Euron over there and a throwing axe and the raiding longship to back him up. So yeah, it's a little tough. And Priest of the Drowned God goes for the reserve discard there. I've grabbed a save from hand. Like, do you have Valor here? Can't remember what I do, but I can send Euron and Little Theon to the dead pile, along with Windermere, actually. Usually he's only a 1-up, so it's not that big of a deal, but he has no saves on the board, no dupes, and I grabbed one out of hand. But I'm not sure if it's too early for that. I do have a dupe on my Euron. I would lose Esgrid, but I could save Esgrid with the Iron Mines. I don't know if I have any saves in hand. Nope, doesn't look like it's the time. Barring the gates, and he plays Besieged. And he's forcing me to put defenders in, so he can use his throwing axe and his raiding longships to just kill them or negate their strength. And barring the gates, just getting out of the way, playing it for the gold. I don't think he's got anything jumping in. No flea bottoms I've seen yet. Greyjoy sometimes runs it, but I decided to try that plot out. I was running 2 Barn the Gates, but I went down to 1 the morning of the tournament. Didn't think Targ would be that much of a problem. That's really what it's in there for. And then I go to a tournament of 14 players, and there's like 5 Targ players. Maybe only 3 or 4, but it felt like there was more than that. But which you'll see them in the video series coming up for sure. Lots of Targ. They're really good right now, I think. I'm not too sure about that. They might be the most popular house right now. So I've heard. Alright, so we got Marshalling here on the left, Sea Tower in there, Neil and the Fishmonger. Spending all his gold for a big 7-cost Asha in there. Going first again. Glad I didn't play that Valor earlier. That's all I gotta say. And she's not duped. I don't see an Iron Mines out there. I see an Asha of my own in my hand there. Can I get her in play? I got a Great Hall now. A second Great Hall, sorry. So I can do it. But for 4, I'm going to blow up the raiding longship. I don't like dealing with that. I don't need that out there. Adding to the pain and the pressure. And especially with that besiege plot where I'm going to be going in forcefully on defense. I want to make sure it counts as much as possible. Don't know if I can play Asha now. Not that I care to. I might just back off here. I'm thinking Valor. I think at this point I was... After passing up on a second turn in my head, I was thinking, all right, third turn, now I got a third juicy target out there. I think it's time to make it happen. Try to hit his hand if I can, discard another card, maybe hit a save, limit his options for recovering from Valor. Which is why I didn't go the Asha route myself. I think that's what I decided, just trying to wreck him up a little bit with the newly made Lord. And I sit on those Great Halls. And the 2 gold. So he's already up 5 power to 1. Hopefully I can weather the storm here for another round before I slap down a reset. And I have to defend due to besieged, which is annoying. Not sure what he's doing, power or military here with little Theon, but someone's not going to count their strength. So it was a military unopposed grab there, and the Iron Islands Fishmonger killed.
Oh, no, you can't. Yeah, no, you won.
So now an intrigue challenge with Euron. I'm going to throw Esgrid in there. And he's going to throwing axe to kill Esgrid. Which I kind of don't care at this point since I had Asha coming, and I do plan on Valoring. So, I mean, yeah, Esgrid could pop out of play, give the other Asha card a power, I believe. And he grabs Asha on the intrigue. OMG, I'm in trouble. Right after killing Esgrid. No, what was I thinking? Oh, man. And now a power challenge with Asha. He says no stealth. He's not going to stealth the newly made Lord. He wants me to throw him in. I have to anyway. He doesn't want anyone standing. It's the point of that plot. So, and he does claim. Now he's going to do a pillage here on me. And he gets a Dagmar. Oh, no. And now he's going to do the Asha trigger there to search off the top of his deck. I didn't see what he grabbed there, but it's a pretty quick choice. Gotta love these mirror matches, you know, when your opponent gets all the big players before you do. Although I did have a choice there to get Asha on the board. Maybe I should have taken it. But I was thinking more long term. Weather the rush storm at the beginning. See if I can catch him off guard with a reset. And maybe have more cards in my hand than he does. Maybe some better economy. Which he doesn't really have great economy out now after he popped those King's Rows. He's only sitting on a sea tower. And hoping he blew his early, economy plots earlier and doesn't play too many. And then I can hit him later. And there it is, Valar Morghulis into trade routes. So he's going to take 6 gold from the locations out there. And it looks like no saves in hand. So Euron, Theon, Asha, all dead. And like I said there, I thought he grabbed with the Asha, got the save real quick. And I think he did. He got an Iron Mine, so not a Risen from the Sea, so it wasn't able to help him yet. So hitting with Valor definitely catches him before he gets that Iron Mines on the board, which is nice. But he did play an Econ plot, technically. It's going to get him 8 gold, effectively, there. So he is able to possibly recover here using that Econ, depending on what he drew into and what he saved in his hand. Now he has a bunch of dead uniques in the dead pile there, obviously, so it may be hard for him to play what he draws going forward. Anything meaningful, I mean. But he has no trouble here putting King Balon on the board. And all I saved was Euron, but I kept the Iron Mines. I chose not to save the newly made Lord. I thought I'd use that just in case he Valored, because it's Greyjoy on Greyjoy. I'm sure he's got his own Valor. And I worried he might just not marshal much, build up for the next turn, and then just Valor me right after that. So I figured I had to save the Iron Mines to, you know, protect myself. So not sure I can do much here. Having those Great Halls forcing you to use uniques, reduce the cost of uniques when you play a low gold plot, sometimes can be tough. If you're sitting on a unique that's a weird cost slot, or it's already dead, or you know you want to play a non-unique and you don't have enough money for both, just makes it awkward. I think that's the stage I was at here. But all he put out was King Balon, but he is going first again, and King Balon's able to, as long as I have no king out, he can just attack military without kneeling and still swing in on a power challenge. But no intrigue icon, so I don't have to worry about reigns. So I used the 2 Great Halls on Wex Pike, so at least I had something there to get out with those Great Halls. Nice, cheap, unique. Always good.
He's just cheap. I just like him with the Great Halls.
And we get a Lord Sport Shipwright with the 2 sea towers there. Still have 2 gold to spare.
Never get his ability going. It's like but yeah, the first edition was awesome. Yeah, oh yeah. That's right.
And even saved 2 gold. So not a bad recovery there on my side.
Do you have any actions before challenges? Sure.
And I decided not to use the Iron Islands or the Lord Sport Shipwright, sorry. But he is going to use the Iron Fleet Scout now to buff Balon. And then I will Nightmares Balon after he does his pre-challenge action there. So now I can only get 1 challenge out of Balon.
That's why I'm done. Well, that was marshalling.
And then I do realize I didn't use the Lord Sport Shipwright on the Iron Fleet Scout there. So now if he wants to do a nice 7 strength military, he can do that and kill someone or force me to use the Iron Mines, which does suck. But then that puts him in an awkward position where I can do a military back at him. And this way now he may play defensively since he wants to try to defend a military. And force me to swing in with 2 characters. He's going to do a power. Interesting. Trying to push for the win. I let it go unopposed. I have no power to claim. But now I realize what he's doing. He's doing it for support of the people. And I believe he grabs a Great Kraken, if I recall correctly. And then he's able to trigger that right away. It's smart. Either he uses that to rush further and to the win and try to close this out quickly. Or he draws some cards to help him play more of a long game, to help fill his board back up, get some economy going, get some saves going maybe. And there it is, Great Kraken. But I forgot I had no claim, so yeah, forget what I was saying about trying to do a military challenge, but I do have reigns, so I can get out of Valor if I can get a range trigger off, which he puts me in the situation now where I should be able to, no problem. But if he put a military on me, I might have thrown Euron in there on the defense, which maybe he should have done. So here we go. Intrigue challenge of 6, trying to get out of that Valor claim. And it is going to be a range trigger right away here. So I'm down 7-0 right now.
Judge question. Waking the dragon, do you have to be able to stand
No.
character?
No.
No, okay.
So I'm debating here. Do I flip into Red Wedding, try to kill a Lord, make him use an Iron Mines, or just, who cares? Why do I need to do that when I can just put Claim on and force the same thing on a military challenge? So, and then I'm debating, well, like, which one claim do I want to put in there, since here is a character kneeling. Do I stand a character now? Like, what other range plot do I use here? I mean, I could trade routes to try to get money if I had an event, but I do have 2 gold saved there, so that's pointless. So it is going to be the stand plot. I do get an unopposed power. I now have claim for the intrigue challenge. Take him down to 2 cards, get rid of Tris Botley there. And take a renown. And for the pillage, I didn't see what it was. But I know it was King Balon. Nice. Another copy of him, so he's not going to dupe him up next round. And we're debating taking the King's Roads or the raiding longships. Now look at my board. I have some economy. And I need to get back into this game. And if I can go first, raiding longships will help me do that by winning unopposed challenges. So I choose to take that. I'm not sure if this is the best case scenario. Now a 2-strength military with Wex Pike. And that's going to go unopposed. He's going to use the Iron Mines on Balon, of course. Just eating through those saves. So now I'm up to 3 power now with some power on Euron there and an unopposed. And we'll go in with Euron on the unopposed. Pulling some power away there, getting some unopposed and renown. And grabbing a King's Road, I believe, this time. Oh no, Iron Mines now that it's in there. Yes. Yes, yes, yes. That is the right pull. Yeah, right after he uses it. Now I put myself in a better position. That even if he valors, I'm in a good spot. He is not. So now I'm up to, it looks like 7 power. He is sitting at 6. So just like that, back in the game. Off that beautiful Valar Morghulis plot. I don't know if you guys have heard of it, but it's a pretty good one. So I'm just trolling him a bit there. I always have fun with Scott. He's a great guy. Fun to play against, always. Always tough matches, usually. And he's always running Greyjoy, too. So the last couple times I played him, I was running Greyjoy also. So the mirror match always puts me on tilt a little bit. Makes things a little more frustrating when you're getting fought with your own weapons, basically. But he's a good guy. Super fun. And I was just trolling him a little there, saying he's probably going to play Marsh against me. But obviously he wouldn't, having a 7-cost character out like that. I was just trolling him. And another Besieged. He's playing 2. So I'm forced to defend if he can go first to get Balon going. But I needed to go first, so I play my 2-8-2. And I make sure I go first. Not playing any games. And I have 2 claim to boot. So here we go. 3 Great Halls knelt. Get the 3rd one out there. And we got the Reader. And I think what I was thinking is I need to get more intrigue out there just in case. I think I'm good for intrigue though, but just in case he marshals something out. And it's cool because Besiege now works against him, so I'm forcing him to defend. But I want to try to get a range trigger off myself to maybe kneel out someone on his board also before the Besiege kicks in. Because I'm just looking to try to get unopposed here and trying to get to the win now faster than he can. Which that plot I played definitely will let me do that.
Well, no, but I did all these actions first, so you could have just done it right after me anyway. I was dumb. I should have done this right after that, but that's okay. I'll just pick something different.
So what happened there, I forgot to use my Lord Sport Shipwright as a first action going first. I continued on with, you know, kneeling all those great hulls, sea towers, playing dudes. And then I realized, actually, I want to use Lord Sport Shipwright. So I gave him full opportunity to kneel anything you wanted. Use his sea tower ahead of time. Because he could have jumped in there, but I went really fast. I didn't give him a window to do it in. So I let him kneel his sea tower if he wanted, but he chose not to. He was okay if I knelt it, but I choose to kneel the Iron Fleet Scout instead. Just in case he plays some intrigue bodies and adding some strength. I wanted to try to make sure that Reigns went off. And he's going to blow up. He blows up the raiding longship that I stole from him earlier. He doesn't want me using it against him, especially going first with 2 claim and the Besieged kicking in. Which is basically using all his toys against him. And he sits on 3 gold. Only gets the newly made Lord out there. So it looks like intrigue with Euron. 6 strength. That'll go unopposed. I'm going to draw a card off the Reader. And I get a We Do Not Sow off that draw, I believe. Get rid of the Great Kraken. And I think I forgot the unopposed with the trigger off the plot there. Oh, no, there it is. Did that out of order a little bit. And looks like, yeah, it's going a little too fast there. He threw his cards up in front to take the claim. I kind of did things out of order here. But I think I go back and don't want to do the Reigns anyway because I look down, I have a 2-claim plot, and I think that's what I need to focus on more right now is trying to get that unopposed. Which sucks that I lost that rating longship here, but it's going to be hard to get unopposed when Besiege is forcing him to defend if able, and the next 2 challenges he's going to be able. But if I play the Filthy Accusations kneel plot, I can kneel one of those guys to then make something else unopposed. But then I don't have the plot effect of giving the reaction on the unopposed, but...
You can let us go unopposed and win power and entry.
Yeah,
Being mean now.
yeah, no, that's kind of good.
So that's it for the Intrigue Challenge. I'm going to keep it the way it is.
Yeah, you only have 4 power.
Give the rating on.
And just DM unopposed.
And a copy of Oshoff Pillage there. And I take the rating longship back. It's just like that with Euron. So no problems there on the unopposed on the next one. So it's a good idea to keep the plot face up there. Not cover it. And oh yeah, I forgot about the 2-claim military clear the board anyway. To allow for an unopposed power. Which I think should close it out here. And yeah, unopposed with the reader. Close it out, 2-claim. And boom, just like that. Big comeback off the Valor into his Besiege that hurt him there. But yeah, great game there for sure. And we got lots more Thrones coming, so stay tuned to the channel. Make sure you subscribe. Check out our Gloomhaven campaign going on right now. And thanks a lot for being here, guys. We'll see you in the next video.